Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to my channel. My name's Mia and it's so great having you in today. So today is the day that I am finally flattening my island. I've honestly been putting this off for the longest time, so I'm gonna do a quick little run through my island for this intro just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with here. But basically, I have been wanting to flatten my island for a while now. I've put it off for, oh my gosh, I wanna say weeks. It's almost like the equivalent of wanting to go to the gym. So it sounds great in theory, but actually getting started is the most difficult part. But once it's done, you feel amazing. And that's kind of how the flattening process was for me. But I timed myself, so I'll have all that info for the end. So honestly, the only things that really are unfortunate about flattening your island is you are stuck with the same island name, the same map. But that's really not that bad when you think about it. As long as you have a great map, I definitely highly recommend flattening. Name, I mean, what's really in a name? Okay, actually, let's get real. I do wish I had a better name, but it is what it is. My first island was actually called Camp Nook when I first got the game back in 2020. And then I got a new Switch and I wasn't able to transfer my island over, and that's kind of how I came up with this new island, which I also don't really like the name, but I can live with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and share some easy steps and what worked for me. So step 1, we're gonna prep your island. So I'm gonna start off by going to the Resident Service Center, and I'm gonna buy all of the necessities. So that is a storage shed if you do not already have one, and also an ABD machine just in case you ever need some bells. Also, if you don't already have warp pipes, that's the next thing we're gonna buy. So I'm only gonna buy 2, that's all you really need, but if you feel like you can use them elsewhere, definitely recommend buying as many as you feel, but for this purpose 2 worked perfectly fine for me. The other reason we're really starting off at the resident service building is because all of the tasks we're currently doing won't go into effect till tomorrow. So we're gonna also set a bell ordinance, which we'll do by talking to Isabel, and this is going to boost the price for the items that you're selling, but unfortunately if you're trying to buy any items that day, it also is going to boost that price. But basically when you want it removed, you do have to speak to Isabel. So now let's go ahead and talk to Tom Nook, and we're going to destroy an incline or a bridge and also move a villager, because a lot of these tasks again won't be available until tomorrow, so we might as well be proactive already. And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and turn off the game here, change it to the next day, time travel, that way we can get all of our items. Next up, my favorite twins, to buy some tools that we need. Also, since I'm in the market here, I might as well buy some items that I know I'm going to need for my future island. So remember, don't stop living because you're working on the flattening process. But if you have golden tools, I definitely highly recommend those. But if not, go ahead and buy a bunch of shovels and axes. And don't forget medicine. I originally forgot medicine when I was flattening the island. So, oh, duster. I know I've been wanting one of those for a long time as well. We're gonna set our warp pipe in front of the Nook shop. That way we're able to easily access it when we're ready to sell the items. Now that my island's prepped, I'm gonna go ahead and focus on one task at a time. So you can choose any task that you'd like to focus on, but for me, I'm gonna run around picking up the items. All I have in my pockets are my storage shed. And the reason I focus on one task is because basically you go into autopilot. It's a lot easier just pressing the same button over and over as I'm doing here by pressing the Y button. I feel like that's why I like cleaning up the weeds on my island also, because it's the same concept. I'm just running around, smashing Y, and it's just something about it that makes it so relaxing for me. The next task I'm going to focus on is chopping all of my trees. So I'm just going to pull a bunch of axes and put them in my pockets. I still have my storage shed in my pockets as well, but I'm not even going to pick up the piles of wood as I'm chopping. So again, it's the same concept, just running around, pressing the same button. But I will say that I did save a little section of trees, so I'm not chopping every tree, but that is totally up to you and is optional whether you want to chop all of them or save a few to move into a tree farm. Now I'm going to focus on digging. And digging means anything from digging up flowers to digging up the tree stumps, even these little sprouts. So again, it's just one button that I'm focusing on as I do this task, but honestly, this ended up being a lot more fun than I realized. So in my pockets, I do just have a warp pipe, as you can see, a ladder, and my storage shed. The ladder so I can access the cliffs easily, and we're gonna place our pipe, go to the Nook shop, and now I'm just gonna sell everything in the drop box. Be really careful though when you're doing this, because like I said, you do go into autopilot, and I think at one point I accidentally sold my storage shed. But if you do want to keep some of those flowers, you really only need like 2 or 3 because they can easily multiply. I only would save the hybrids and basically sell everything else. The flattening process will vary in time, because if you're like me and get distracted and I gotta clean that little booger off of this cute little booger. But yeah, so maybe my process took a little longer for that. But the next thing I'm going to focus on now is digging up some trees and creating a tree farm. I definitely recommend doing this on Sundays so you can buy turnips and then eat all 10 of them, and this way you can dig up the trees a lot faster. And I'm going to move them all to the left side of my island. I also recommend gathering a variety of different tree sizes and species, and then once you're organizing them, I like to keep them, oh my gosh, I'm so used to Happy Home Paradise, I forgot I can't put trees on the beach. But anyway, I recommend organizing your trees by size and species. The last task I'm going to focus on is picking up all of the wood along with any items I may have left behind from the beginning. Basically, this entire process from the preparation to the focus area took about 4 hours, and I think that's pretty good time, to be honest with you. I mean, of course I got distracted here and there, but you also have to enjoy the flattening process. My third tip is to take breaks. Stay hydrated, get that coffee refill, drink that tea, get those snacks. You want to stay energized, but you also want to enjoy the game. So whether that's also going to Brewster, taking a cat-and trip, anything that's not flattening if the process starts to become a bit overwhelming. Now, if you are going to take a break, make sure before turning off the switch, you are always moving a building, whether that's a villager, the Nook shop, the museum. Also make sure you're demolishing a bridge or incline, and then you're time traveling to the next day, that way you're ready to go. If you've actually made it this far, I'd really appreciate it if you could like this video, letting me know that you enjoyed this type of guide. Also hit that subscription button if you're not already subscribed, and turn on those notifications as I also release new videos weekly. If you decided to push forward with having a completely flat island, I definitely recommend breaking the cliffs in alternating rows. That way you don't have to do more work and have rounded edges, as you can see what just happened to me there. You're going to end up spending a lot more time, and I unfortunately had a lot of cliff space here. So it will make the task a little easier, but you know what? This took me 3 hours to complete. So I think in the future, I honestly will call it good and not destroy another cliff, because you know, the cliffs can also work in your advantage because it's a lot easier to dig into. Oh, also, pesky villagers like Raymond will get in the way when they know that you are trying to beautify the island. Which takes me on to my next tip. When you are waterscaping, again, I would just say go in rows if you can. Try not to do too much work, but also you can save portions of the river if you feel like you would use them. But we finally did it. My island is beautiful and flat. I'm ready to start a new theme. Let's check this out. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it, to be honest with you. But look at us go. Quickly, proof that I do have a flat island. All of my villagers are basically on the beach. I did leave this clip here, but I'm trying to create a rock garden. But anyway, I will say, oh, let me run away from that area. You did not see those codes there, and you did not see that able shop there. I do have a flat. Okay, my island's not completely flat. Some of the stuff is just a little too much, but you know, that's totally up to you. But we definitely deserve some stretching with my favorite guy, CJ, because we pretty much flattened the whole island. We are ready to start a brand new theme. So I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoy creating it. So until next time, my friends, goodbye. Oh, don't cancel me either, because CJ is my favorite. You're just gonna dust this cutie.